Okay, this one's definitely... Let's start this over again. For one, we're gonna bring down the volume. We're gonna watch a quick video on... Jump through. Because it's ridiculous. Really want people to grasp the concept. This time, look at this. Oh, yeah, we can act. You swap to Unreal after Unity's pricing change. This is through...
Have you ever watched a friend go down a very self-destructive road where they just did, terrible thing after terrible thing to themselves, and you think...
And again, keep in mind, these are corporate. These are not stupid individuals running the company. If they're doing something and they're sinking crap, or there's a reason for that. There has to be an underlying reason.
It's time for an intervention. Well, I'm feeling that way with Unity lately, and right now... Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch, and have you ever... Yeah, the worst conceived packaging update. Basically, they have a new pricing system, and it is quite literally the worst conceived way of monetizing Unity that I can think of. And, yeah. So there have been a number of changes to their plans and something else. We'll get to the something else in just a second. I'm going to start things off with a happy note. Let's talk about the good things here. And the good things are for indie developers at the entry level. And it's definitely gotten better.
Okay. Again, it's not gotten better.
Unity Personal will remain free and will be removing their annual limit of revenue of $100,000. So I mean,
none of this means anything.
A lot of people will actually be able to start their project using Unity Personal, even companies, even well-funded companies, and you're not going to have to upgrade to a premium version of it until you start making money. So that is definitely a nice improvement. Another thing we've got here is they are removing the annual revenue limit of 100,000 USD for the use on Unity Personal plan. Games made with Unity Personal that have 200,000 USD or more per year, and at
second you go to 200,000 though at next break.
At least 200,000 life.
These are through subscription.
Time installs will be subject to the Unity runtime fee. And that Unity runtime fee, you might be going, okay, what is this?
This is how many, this is the download thing.
And what it is one of the single dumbest things I have ever heard of in my life. It is how Unity
not dumb, it was probably planned.
Make more money off of Unity, and honestly, I think it's going to end them in court. So let's get into the actual blog post here. So effective January the 1st, 2024,
probably sync them.
Introduce a new Unity runtime fee that's based on game installs. We will also add cloud-based asset storage, Unity Dev.
These guys just laid off a crap load of their workforce. Like, people are speculating that was to what they're doing is to make up because their shareholders are not happy, right? And I mean, if you're not donating your money, but you're investing it into this company, you got a lot of big things. However, if you claim bankruptcy and file and
tools and AI,
so many things you can do.
No extra cost to Unity subscription plans this November.
People on top stay on top.
Basically, the beginning of next year, this runtime fee is going to kick in. As many of you may know, Unity is in fact two substantial software components: the editor and the runtime. Now, this is stupid in my humble opinion, because that
runtime basically is like the thing that runs the program, but it goes to servers. So I mean, it stops from cheaters and pirating their software. You're basically connected to. And when you download something, when you download the runtime, that's
an implementation detail. When you buy Visual Studio, you don't worry about the .NET runtime. It's just, it is a piece that makes the piece work. So basically, the Unity runtime is like the shim that runs on each different platform that enables Unity to work. It's an implementation detail. You, as an end user, don't care about the runtime. It is.
That's not fully true. I mean, you always want to know what your time for. These guys paired with a malware company. Definitely worry about what you're doing with your runtime. If you're downloading, you guys created malware. They didn't, but they paired up with the company right here. This was back July of guys paired is, yeah, it's bad. If people are using this crap to make, now they're getting
literally
screwed and they wonder
just what
why.
makes Unity work cross-platform. Obviously, they have to maintain it, but they have to maintain the editor. It's part of the product they offer. So the Unity runtime is code that executes on player devices and makes Unity for games work at scale with billions of monthly downloads. We are introducing a Unity runtime fee that is based upon each time a qualifying game is downloaded by
Qualifying. They just came out and they made like, this little qualifying game in quotations. Look up those quotations and it goes back to how many downloads. What happens if they change that? Everybody is now subjected to it. And you already have a game out there that's made and they want to make it retroactive. Let's say they put in their terms of service that they could do something like, and you agreed to those kind of like what Facebook did, where they, for 4 consecutive updates, or maybe it was 5, they basically said, hey, look, we want control of the network. Computer, if you plug into here, we want to know your network, not just from your phone or from your computer. We want to be able to see what's on it. They referred to the camera as their camera, or quote unquote our camera, when you took pictures with Facebook. That camera that you paid for in your hands on that phone is now considered to be their camera just because you downloaded it. And it flew because they said, hey, look, they changed these terms that people were like, well, we didn't know. They didn't let us know there was updates. 4 or 5 consecutive times they said that within the next time or the next few times, by accepting this, you are accepting that we do not have to let you know, update our terms of service. That is on you as a user. So all this crap right here, I don't trust corporations whatsoever. And here's, if there's any reason to never use Unity, it's this right here. The fact that they tried to pull. And this isn't over. This is going to be, I feel like this is going to be like a pretty rabbit hole. They're rolling back a little bit.
End user. We choose this because each time a game is downloaded, the Unity runtime is also installed. We believe that an initial install-based fee allows creators to keep the ongoing financial gains from player engagement, unlike a revenue share. So if you're working with a live service model, the theory here is, you're only paying the fee once per install as opposed to over and over and over like you do with a rev share for Unreal Engine. But the reality is right now, you're paying for a per seat license. And going forward, guess what? You're still paying for a per seat license. Just on top of that, you now get to pay this fee each time someone installs your game. Now you might be thinking to yourself, okay, isn't that a little problematic? How are they going to track how users install?
Are they going back? That's a tough question right there.
Install your game, and you're very right. That is very, very problematic because it means a couple things. Either more labor on your end as you have to report, say monthly, to Unity how many installs you had, or they're going to have to integrate it with the various different app stores, which then means if, for example, it is fraudulently downloaded and pirated.
I have a feeling if they're saying they're going to do this, they already have the answer. It's more than likely in every right now.
From the Android Play Store, are you going to be responsible for those
Probably in the code itself.
installs that you're not making any money for? Or finally, is it going to have code that dials home, which is problematic and against regulations for a number of different regions, including North America, EU, etc.? So none of those solutions are good.
Right. They're really worried about regulations. Terrified of those.
This is all threshold driven. So if you're using Unity Personal and Unity Plus, by the way, you won't be using Unity Plus because they killed it off, which I don't think is a
Yep.
bad thing, to be honest, because of the changes they've made to Unity Personal. But we'll get back to that in just a
Yep.
second. So these games that have made
Either way.
$200,000 or more in the last 12 months and have at least 200,000 lifetime installs are going to have to make the fee. So
Or 200,000 lifetime installs. You make a free-to-play game. It blows up. Or a program. So you make a historical program. A project. That actually is a thing. That's happened. Right here. These guys. This was created by Breda University of Applied Science. These were made by students learning how to make a wild guess. Arid. I know arid. Fact. It was for Unity. How many? 1,000. I don't know how many times this has been downloaded or played. There is a way to find out. But right here, well-made survival game. It's great. It's definitely a good game. It's free to play. If they get over 100,000, well, they're going to be subjected to prices.
So any install past that $200,000, you are paying a fee for each time that game is installed. Unity Pro and Enterprise, those are going to be after $1 million threshold and or more in the last 12 months, and have at least 1 million lifetime installs. So that means if a game is shipped 1 million copies and it's making $40 per user, it's not going to really hurt that much. It's going to be a small fee for them. But if it is a game that literally makes about $1 a user with 1 million shipped, this is going to represent like 12% of your revenue, not profit, revenue. So we'll get back to
your
pricing in just a second. It is all tiered based on exactly where you are. By the way, if you are currently under kind of an end user,
there's going to be so many problems with this.
This doesn't kick in until that deal ends. So how is this going to work? Well, after $200,000 are made, and 200,000, and by the way, this is all ands. So $200,000 made and 200,000 installs.
All right.
You're going
Regardless,
to pay 20 cents per install, just as a tax, as a fee. Like that's the new Unity tax. Welcome to it. 20 cents per install after the revenue.
That's ridiculous. Like right there, the fact that they did this. If you're looking to make money, never mind. 30% or like Valve. Or you can only have 25% taken out because to use Unity, the actual Valve's taking 30 or 30. They might have cut it back to 30, but let's be generous and say 30 and 30. 60% leaving you with 40. Never mind taxes or any other things that you might through. There's always fees too. I mean, if it's a multiplayer game, you're looking at server charges. This is going to be crippling. Again, let's go back over to Photoshop. $20 a month or $120 a year, and again, you're subscribed. This right here, though, Texture Lab, getting into making stuff. This is 100% free. It's open source. You can click. Here's the GitHub. Make it, edit it however you want.
threshold. Now, if you're a Unity Pro user, after 100,000, it is 15 cents per install. Then becomes 7.5 cents per install at the 100,000 to 500,000 threshold.
They sat down in a boardroom full of people, and this has probably gone through multiple departments. At what point did all of them say, let's do this? This is a good idea. This is a brilliant idea. People, we don't care if they like it or not. It's Unity. Everybody uses Unity. Nobody's going to not use Unity. I mean, it's not like... oh... It's not like we have a whole nother, I don't know, corporate engine to choose from that won't screw people over. I mean, Unity has the best technology on earth. There's no way there's any other engine there that can compete with. No. Not at all. Doubtful. That's insane. They're just, it's almost like Epic Games bought the company and then was like, all right, we're going to make this have really file bankruptcy. Yeah. Everything's going node based. You can make your own. Again, if you want to throw it between thing to do. There we go. All like that. Definitely. And then I'll continue. And so
And as you can see, it kind of keeps getting smaller and smaller as you go up. And then in emerging markets, their example was such as India. You're going to be paying 1 cent per install. Generally, you'll make less per user in those markets. And if you lock into their other services, hey, we won't charge you this new tax, which is, again, this is actually tying. And in some markets, that's actually illegal. So it'd be interesting to see how that turns out. So pricing change, seats aren't changing. You are getting some additional functionality here as well. So for example, Unity Personal, you will get the Unity Asset Manager, free tier with 10 gigabytes storage, a maximum of 3 DevOps seats featuring 5 gigs of storage, and 200 Windows build minutes and team administrative-based roles. So if you want to use their cloud services stuff, this is very much focused on
cloud services. Yes. We do like our cloud service. Bad idea. Bad idea.
Live service or in-app purchase-oriented games. You can just tell by the way the revenue system is structured. If you're like a one-and-done type game, like the way games used to be, this hurts you a lot more than an ongoing live service game. And also these new perks like the Unity Asset Manager, DevOps, etc., are really mostly just useful to those people. Some details are coming. This actually doesn't exist yet. It is coming in the future, so it'd be interesting to see exactly what's there. And as I mentioned earlier on, Plus is being retired. Truth of the matter is now that Personal has removed those revenue requirements, Plus doesn't really make a lot of sense anymore. And if you are currently a Plus subscriber, you're going to get an offer of a year of premium, premium, I believe it's called. I always forget the name of it. I guess Pro. Sorry, you're going to get an email mid-October for a year of Unity Pro at the Unity Plus price. So if you are currently a Plus developer for 1 year, you just bonused out because you basically got upgraded for a tier that costs 3 or 4 times more for the same price you are paying right now. And if you are a personal user, this is actually advantageous to you unless your game ends up being very successful. So we've got, again, the breakdown of things. I already talked about the personal aspects of it. The FAQ talks about some of the other aspects here. And it's nuts. To give you a direct parallel of how this runtime fee works, imagine if Microsoft took Visual...
Okay. This is very important.
Visual Studio, and then they decided that Visual Studio runtime, so the .NET runtime or VB runtime or whatever, they suddenly want to start charging a fee for it. Well, as of January 2024,
Runtime is what actually
January 1st, 2024, they would basically say, okay, for every .NET install of your product, you
download.
now owe us money. And the kicker is, this is for all Unity users. This isn't retroactive or future active or anything. This is all installs past X date. So
boom. You have games that have made.
If you shipped and published your game 5 or 10 years ago, but it uses the Unity runtime, this applies to you. This isn't just new people signing up going forward. So essentially what they've done is added a royalty-like fee structure onto.
See what they did there? Let's just say any art that you have made that is licensed Photoshop. If they get away with this, so many different companies be like, well, Unity got away with it. Like, look what they're doing with cars right now. They're not going to do this with, like, the actual
a per seat license.
Open source, folks.
Towards the amount of money you make. And that's the other part of this that I find a little crazy is they're actually hitting their most successful customers. Because if you really look at what's changing with these price changes, again, at the entry level, at the indie level, this is advantageous. You actually have you have reduced limitations on what you can do with personal. You can start using personal until you start making money.
And then what? And then you're on the hook.
That really wasn't the way it was before. So
bad.
personal is much more powerful than it used to be. But for the people that are actually out there making money with Unity, this is just a straight-up tax. And I'm going to tell you a scenario here. Let's say I wrote the game Firewatch, and Firewatch still sells to this day. So let's
I have that.
I wrote Firewatch, and it still sells over the threshold required here, which it probably does. I now have to pay for a fee that I never agreed to. Do you know how I would respond to that? I would respond to that by telling them it rhymes with F and U, and then I would send it to my lawyer and let my lawyer deal with this, because you can't renegotiate a contract like this. I asked them straight out at the Unity team if this has been vetted thoroughly by their lawyers, because this is...
Somebody needs to go back through the old terms of service, because they might have done a Facebook. They could have, for the past 4 years, put in, hey, look, we hold the right to change our terms.
Again, I don't know how you could just change the deal and suddenly say, okay, to use our runtime. Like, if Microsoft said, all right, now if you want to use the .NET runtime, you have to pay us.
Again, they put that in because Facebook did. How you don't get terms of service. There used to be terms of service updates on Facebook. You jump on, like, hey, we updated our terms of service. Go on to use and look at, Facebook. You click, I agree. Take a look, and before you could even do that, you had to click a button and scroll all the way down to the bottom. It was annoying, and there was a lot of them towards the end. That was because they were just jamming them in there. Legal amount of time. They were like 4 or 5 times. They said, we're going to be changing our terms of service as opposed to blah, blah, blah. Have to tell you about our updates. You as a user, that is your responsibility to check up when we update our product. Come back every day if you have to. And then one day they just snuck in. They stopped. And eventually you saw, immediately, we hold the right. If you use our product, we want your information from your router, your whole network, everything that's on your computer, all your photos, everything. And all apps, too. The APKs if you're using a phone. Read the terms of service for Facebook. That was when I haven't had Facebook for years. Right before the wonderful ops need. Down. Oh. Nope, not doing this. And people were staying indoors. I was working. Right towards the end, I read those terms of service and I said, this is messed up. Everyone's going to be indoors. Everyone's going to be using this. And deciding to change the service, and it was long. Took about a day to read. I'll skim through. It took a lawyer like how many hours? It was like a day and a half. Totally explain like the ridiculous. The feeling that's what these.
That's 2 cents per install. You would have blood in the streets. Nobody would use Visual Studio anymore. And that is essentially what Unity have just done. And they are doing it again to all titles. Now again, you don't have to pay for the installs up till January 24th. So again, in the Firewatch scenario, let's say it sold 10 million copies from now.
Take a poll.
Now until January 24th, they don't pay this fee on them. But for every copy thereafter, even though that game was published and it was bought under a license that...
If I go into... That's actually a great point. I already bought Firewatch, right? If I go in here... I go into Firewatch, and they said per install. If I click install, it's going to hit them with... I delete the game and then click install. Hit them with another 20. If I get all my friends, especially if it's a developer I don't like, or I'm a competition, somebody's selling their game for $5, I can go ahead, get a bunch of bots or my friends or whatever to buy their $5 game, and then click install, uninstall, or write a script that does that. I could, yeah, you could essentially destroy a company with
it. Doesn't necessarily agree
I think that's
with
what
it.
they're doing.
Yeah, they're asking for this money to be collected. Now, they're a little wishy-washy on how exactly that is going to be tracked, and there's a lot of devils in that little detail, and it'll be interesting to see how it works out. On top of that, we have a couple of other things that were thrown in.
Oh.
They've got Unity Centis being tossed in. This is
Right.
a way of running...
The AI, that's the whole... Anyways, this is about texturing. Photoshop, any of these corporate programs. Theory. Trial. Subscribe. Even say it right there. You can subscribe to the business, students, and teachers. No. I am all set with that. That's what Unity really needs. That's what it showed. You got a brick wall. Back to this. One of the programs you can make your own textures. Take a look at the main parts of it. You have bricks, cells. These are all procedural or repeating patterns. Solid cell. And you have your objects, I like to call it, which is your circle, your polygon, and your capsule. Flower, star. You also have these various noises, which all act like this right here. You can use them as fillers or mixers, or height map. You could always create. They have stripes. Level, we're going tile sampler. Blur, you're going to be using that a lot. You have tri-gradients. And then you have your function, like directional wrap, mirror. Let's look at the function warp. We're gonna take this right here, and the height map follows along the height map for this, and this is your overlay. It actually affects the lines themselves. Bring down the intensity. Trying to break it up. Bring up the rows to make it. Now your albedo is just a picture. It's basically your colors, and that's it. Like wallpaper. Your normal map affects the light and the way the light reflects. Does it kind of like on a height map, but with you can change the strength. Notice how this is kind of pushed out. Bring that to positive. You can change the range. Actually, now you can plug in normal one, and it still looks like how we have our war. Name. Got more. Down here. Then see that kind of painted onto there. That's your albedo. So for the most part, you want a height map to match contour of what this. And this procedural. Let's go to plane. Tile it 3 times. Now this is tiled at 1, 2, there's 9 squares here. Because it's 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can't notice the seams. Because it's procedural to the point where it stops here, it begins over there. So you can tile them perfectly. If one is off here, it's going to be off on the other side, and you're going to notice like repeating pattern. Now that we have this, let's take this one, bevel it. Again, black is the absolute lowest, white is the absolute highest. This is gray, but this is still the bricks are pushed back. Go here. I got an idea. Then we're going to invert one of these. Maybe. Now this one's popping up, popping down. Then level it. There we go. Bring down the intensity. find myself using map range quite a bit, working height and I'll go down to the maximum, bring that down to make darker color. Using this, black will be 1, white will be add. See what this aperture. This kind. Alright. As we go down to normal map. So down the range. That way the brick looks a little bit stacked. Shrewds. Not bad. Grab that. Just a little bit to get rid of these lines right here. You can either bring down the intensity or bring down the sin. Might be up the sin. There we go. Now the reason why this matches so perfectly is because this is our origin node. This is the architect of all these, and it goes straight to the... We're going to add some color, maybe a little bit of speckles and stuff. So let's build the material for the brick. By mixing some fractal noise. Favorite one, regular fractal. Together. Oh yeah, that gives... Eh. And then we can actually do this and blend the two. However, we want to do bricks. You can go down here, change the sides. And if you want to stretch it, transform E takes the kind of creates a picture that you can stretch and move around. Scale on X. No rotation. And then we'll just end. Now we have idea we're up. We'll put that over there. Back to this. Here's our tri-gradient. Image. Be our height map. Shift the angles. Not bad. Let's go down to threshold. And we can slope blur this image with this image. Okay, this is where it's getting all crazy. And then we'll mix that one. This one. Except what we'll do where we can define these a little bit better. Hey, have a good night, Indiana. Thanks for stopping by, man. What we can do here is we can repeat this. Oh. By mirroring it. We might not even have to mirror tiles. Alright, there's an offset there because you take image, you know what? This is good right here, as is. Although with this, we can zoom out. Here. Doesn't really feel like a blur that a little bit. We definitely out of here. Guys belong down here. All right, so have the I'm kind of used with that. What we'll do here, we'll throw in a map range. bring this down. Up. And then we'll color it. Make that one gray. Over here. Reason why is it always colors the white one and then the black one. Grab two of them, one picture and one picture, then we can compose it on. Do is we blend this with this. Gray. This color. That's that one. Here. Let's do it. One last one. That's the one to rule them all right there. And we got these just by going back through. And again, you could change these directly on the fly now. Textures. But that does kind of remind me a little bit of brick. We can smooth that out after. First things first, color this. I'm going to get some of our color onto the actual brick. I'm going to use a gradient map just because this is all one material that we're putting on. Right here, we choose paper red. Choose right click to kind of go with the shading here, that there. This one we're throwing up over. And what we can do is we could take this and now build up. Where are there? We want to use these as stencil. And this is our node or origin node. Start moving. We might use them, who knows. So let's see what this looks like if we plug. Still looks kind of cool, I guess. But we got this brick right here, which was our normal map. I mean, I guess we can use it for our light map. Bring down the opacity and to give it more. Yeah, this is definitely. Let's take this. And we're gonna gradient. Kind of a bad mix. There we go. Got those two. This. Let's see what this. kind of have our brick texture, but again, it needs to be that goes with this one. And we're just gonna change it up just a little bit. Then we're gonna mix. To bring down the opacity, but we can subtract this from this. So if we go up here, subtract, and that will give us our mortar. Now these kind of go together. So it almost looks like it's one solid texture. That's because of this. What we want to do is we want to go down here and go to transform E, turn it into a picture, and we'll rotate it 90 degrees. And then we can play here. Probably bring down up output. There we go. This scale it up. Probably should scale it down. Or tile it so it's being scaled down. And we'll throw this into the map ring. There we go. So this map range, color gradient, and this, these two mixed together that made up this, we can use the definitions. As it all follows the contours of these lines right here, which will be the opacity. Which is still way back there. Pain in the neck. Probably should put this somewhere. Maybe these can go. This one here. Yeah. This one. A little bit. Gotta do is now we can definitely map range. We'll bring up that. Which definitely. With this one, be on for time. Way too much. Paid the call. Frick. And this is just 1020. Up the red. Here. Add can always add on to that. That's a good base. I didn't name it yet. We have this, we have the two colors. think the white is the metallic. A map range. I feel like these need to be a little bit more. Yeah, that definitely needs to be a little bit. Now, this is base. Go to warp density. Change this. Five. I can save this and put it right in. And it will give us so this is brick. Brick. Hole. This will be brick hole. What we're gonna do over here, I go right. Gonna need a blur. Go up to the circle. Let's grab a couple circles. What we're gonna do here is one we're gonna change to linear. This one right there. Cover that with that. Except with this, I'm gonna take the radius and go down on it so that the blur gets cut off and and what I can do here I'm gonna add another. I'm definitely gonna triangle. Right side up. In order to turn it side down or really treat it like a picture, it has to be transformed to 2D, and why not? You can blur the hell out of this. Then I can minus this. And I can blur it so that it looks like it's pretty beaten up, I guess. Take these, we'll throw these up over here. Now with this, our image, we're gonna bring up how many there are. Rotations all point out that this. We have this one right here. Bring up our that. This. Add that. We have to full on mask it. Alright. Just make one normal map. Add. Here. Blend these together. Be the detail. Maybe the definitely. Jack up the sitting there. And then we'll throw this one. Alright. Add this. Beautiful. Max it out. That's what we're looking for. Right up here, we're gonna invert the first things first. Controlled. We do need to black will be the shiny one. I believe it works. We definitely. That will go. That. This will be. Change them. Stick this one right into the tile sampler so that it's found. Take this. Never even use this. Okay. Throw this down here. We can make multiple textures. We have this one right here. We could go off to make some files could be 14, 15 different textures. Like example. This one right here. $90, 180. And all right. Blend these two together. Let's bring this down a bit. Bring it up. There we go. We have kind of like a mark. Definitely. Beautiful. Come down here to this. I knew I needed that. A hexagon. And this. Let's in this. And then we'll bevel it. And the bevel will re-invert. That's pretty good. Or we can stick with that. Then we'll blend these. Now using this right here, fractal this, and this. Hey, you know what? I like fractal. Radiant noise. Kinda. Yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll use a map range. bad. Right here, we're gonna this and this. That's what I. Go up. So normal. Our height map being because it needs to go into normal. Got it. This we're gonna change to a gold. And this one we do need to be add those. Right for there we go. Now we have an out. If we can. Oh yeah, we're not clear. As you can see, we went ahead and we just made, now we have 2 different textures at any time. And to save them, choose your folder, export. Gotta make sure you save it though. God, I made various things that you can make. You can make fibers. That actually came out early. Kind of like a carbon fiber wheat. I do it. That was a little that had to do with a lot of switching in my blend. Most part, I mean, it came out pretty. You can always change the opacity and everything like that. But this helped you out. Yeah. Keep practicing. Messing around with. I personally like this one because we're going to throw this stuff into Agma at some point. What I've been working. And again, all the textures. That's actually. I'm sorry. Back. The tree textures are not mine. Grass, leaf. That was supposed to be my. Ugh. It ended up being a floor, and then it's many things. And yeah, I mean, all this was made with open source. Nobody can ever charge me really anything because I used all free open software. It's totally legal. My work is my work. I don't have to work anyone taking that from me. Here, let's go. From Agma, actually, I think I used Agma. I know I used some Blender paint. I'm gonna make this too, and then I'm like how it blends. This needs to be. Still need to retexture that. Again, I mean, this is what. Not bad for proof of concept. Not even close to done. I gotta add leaves falling. Add a lot of different stuff. However, that's it for me. I gotta go stream on Twitch for a little bit. If you're interested, jump over to Twitch, Gauge MP0. And for the take care. Keep making your own stuff. Once you make your own stuff, you don't have to worry about somebody else coming after you, and you could charge for it. Make quality. Get out of this. And I love how lightweight this loads right up. Great. Oh, that was me messing around. Okay. Yeah. fiasco. A lot of reuse. Actually. We'll do 0.5 for both. Good threshold. Happened here? Power. Oh. Reminiscing on all my old work. Grass that I used for docks. Probably could make it a lot more. Scaled. There we go. Few clicks of a button. Messing or oh, that was me creating various shapes. At a 2D. Add it at another 90 degrees, that would be 180 together. Add it. Black. Here we'll go. Flat map. Add. This. Level it and jack it up all. Go down to eldest. Try that. Blur it. Take care. Sides here. Do the same thing. Oh, you know what? This. Alright. That's what. See how this. That wouldn't be bad for cracks in the walls. And say there's a pattern you like or something, you can take just the note. Actually is. I will definitely do a stream. And it won't be at like. Yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, definitely put. Good one.